Now, the Paralympics continue here in France this Wednesday. Powerlifting is taking place with superstars from Asia and Africa hoping to lead the way. James Vasina is standing by at the event for us. James, powerlifting has begun. How is it different from other Paralympic events?
I think I just caught the end of you there, Delano. It indeed is different to other events in the Paralympics because as we've seen over the last weeks, the Paralympic events are normally divided into the different categories depending on people's different disabilities, which is why you'll see codes such as F20 or T37, for example, in athletics. Those codes that denote a athlete's disability and also the range to which they are affected by that disability. Now that, however, is not the case with powerlifting. In powerlifting, everybody competes in the same category, which is why you will see athletes who either don't have legs, for example, compete against people with dwarfism. They all compete in the same category. The only, of course, difference being that, as in other weightlifting sports, weightlifting competitions, the athletes are divided by their weight. So that goes, for example, from the smallest weight, from the just over 40 kilos for women, all the way up to 107 kilos for the men. 10 different categories for both the male and the female between all of those. So 10 divisions between them. Now, the powerlifting is all about the bench press. Now, the bench press, what is it? It's when the athlete lies down on the bench and has a weight on the weight on either side of him with a bar and has to bring the weight down to his chest and all the way back up again. And for that, well, judges give their opinion after that on whether whether what they did was justified, whether it was right or not according to the rules, whether it was straight, whether they brought their arms back up straight properly, and the judges decide on that. 3 judges to validate whether or not their lift was correct. Now they get 3 attempts to try and lift the biggest, the most weights possible. To give you an idea of what those sums like, well, we've had the men's 47 kilos event wrap up just a little bit earlier. And Omar Karada from Jordan managed to lift 181 kilograms. That's almost not far off 4 times his body weight. So very spectacular to be watching here inside. Now, there are 3 main countries who dominate the medals table when it comes to the history of powerlifting, that being China. Yes, once again, as you mentioned, an Asian country at the top of those lists there. China are extremely strong in so many categories of the Paralympics. After that, you've got Nigeria, who comes second, and Egypt also coming third. Those 3 nations are way above the others in the general medals table. However, no athlete has ever won more than 4 Olympic golds. That could change, though. 2 athletes on the women's side, are attempting to do just that. Fatma Omar from Egypt has 3 gold medals for her as a tally right now, and is competing in these Paris 2024 Games, as is Amalia Perez from Mexico. So they'll be trying to break that record over the coming days, with the powerlifting just beginning then only today here at the Porte de la Chapelle Arena, which is always also where the badminton has been taking place in the north of Paris.
James, very, very briefly, what else is going on today?
Well, right now we've got the fencing that continues, the fencing that began, of course, yesterday. The big star of that being Bebe Vio, looking for her gold. The Italian fencer, who we've spoken about plenty, is fighting and trying to get another gold this time here in Paris. We've also got, of course, plenty of athletics to come, and a whole host of medals just to come across the Paralympics. There's so much going on. We've got more going in the wheelchair tennis as we go towards the finals, of course, in the doubles, which will conclude later on in the week. And we'll be following all of this for you, Delano, over the next few hours.